In the summer of 2024, Dubai's skyline glittered more aggressively than ever. The city had just unveiled another record-breaking tower, this one shaped like a spiraling blade of glass and steel called Al Miraj Residences. On the 47th floor, the penthouse belonged to Khalid bin Saeed Al Najjar, a 38-year-old Emirati businessman whose fortune came from logistics contracts tied to the new free trade zones. Officially, he imported precision machinery. Unofficially, he moved whatever needed moving, quietly, efficiently, and without questions. Khalid hosted parties the way some men collect watches, selectively, expensively, and always with an edge of control. Invitations arrived via encrypted message, never email. Guests arrived by private lift, were scanned for devices, and handed chilled date-infused water before champagne. The gatherings mixed local elites, European consultants, Russian investors, and a carefully curated handful of Western women who worked in the city's luxury sector, real estate agents, event planners, yacht concierges. They were there to add sparkle, to laugh at the right moments, to make the room feel international. Among them that night was Elena Voss, 29, a senior leasing manager for a British property firm with offices in DIFC. Elena had moved to Dubai 3 years earlier from Manchester. She handled multimillion dirham penthouses, knew which sheiks preferred east-facing views for sunrise prayers, and could spot a money launderer by the cut of his cufflinks. She dated casually, a personal trainer named Marcus who lived in Jumeirah Beach residence, surfed on Fridays, and never asked about her late nights. Elena was invited because she had recently closed a lease for Khalid on 3 adjacent units in Al Miraj. He paid in cash, 6 months up front, no negotiation. As a thank you, he sent her the gold-embossed card for the party. A small celebration, the note read. Wear something unforgettable. She chose a black silk dress with a high neck and low back, elegant, not desperate. Marcus teased her about it over breakfast. Don't let them buy you, he said, half joking. She laughed and kissed him goodbye. The party began at 9 p.m. on a Thursday in late July. The temperature outside was still 41 degrees Celsius, but inside the penthouse the air was crisp at 20 degrees Celsius. Floor-to-ceiling windows framed the Burj Khalifa like a painting. A string quartet played rearranged Arabic pop. Waiters in white gloves circulated with caviar blinis and gold-flecked cocktails. Elena arrived at 10:15. She knew most of the faces, fellow expats, a few familiar clients. Khalid greeted her near the bar. He wore a tailored navy thobe, no head covering, hair cropped short. His smile was polite, practiced. Ms. Voss, he said. You honor us. Just Elena tonight, she replied. And thank you for the invite. The view is obscene. He laughed softly. Obscene is good business. They spoke briefly about the new lease. He complimented her on the speed of the paperwork. She complimented the penthouse's lighting design. The conversation stayed surface level, professional. Around midnight the energy shifted. The quartet left. A DJ took over with deeper bass. Bottles of vintage Krug appeared. People drifted to the terrace, where hookahs bubbled with apple-mint smoke. Elena had 3 glasses of champagne, enough to feel loose, not sloppy. She ended up in a small circle near the indoor fountain, 2 Russian financiers, a French interior designer named Claire, and Khalid himself. The talk turned to Dubai's excesses, private islands, supercar collections, the new underground clubs beneath Palm Jumeirah. Claire, tipsy, complained about a recent client who demanded a solid gold bathtub. He said it was for hygiene purposes. I told him hygiene doesn't cost 3 million dirhams. The Russians laughed. Khalid smiled thinly. Elena, feeling bold, added, at least he didn't ask to measure it against his ego. More laughter. Khalid raised an eyebrow. And what would you measure egos against, Elena? She shrugged, the champagne talking. I don't know. Maybe something more honest. Like, size doesn't always match the price tag, does it? The circle quieted for a second. Then Claire snorted. One Russian chuckled. Khalid's expression didn't change, but his eyes sharpened. Elena sensed the shift too late. She tried to course-correct. I mean in real estate. Square footage versus what people think it's worth. But the joke had landed. Someone, Claire probably, leaned in and whispered loudly enough for the group, she's talking about, you know. Elena flushed. No lie. Khalid raised his glass. To honesty, he said calmly. Rare in this city. The moment passed. Or seemed to. Elena excused herself to the restroom. When she returned, the circle had dispersed. Khalid was across the room, speaking quietly to two men in dark suits who hadn't been there earlier. Security, she assumed. She found Marcus's texts, 3 missed calls, a photo of him on the couch with their cat. She smiled, typed back, heading home soon. Love you. She never sent it. At 1:40 a.m., Khalid approached her again. Alone this time. Elena, he said. A favor. My cousin just arrived from Abu Dhabi. He's shy, doesn't speak much English. Would you mind showing him the terrace view? He admires British architecture. She hesitated. The request felt odd, but refusing a host outright could burn bridges. Dubai ran on relationships. Of course, she said. He led her through a side corridor she hadn't noticed before, away from the main party, past a staff kitchen, to a private lift. This goes straight to the rooftop garden, he explained. More private. Better stars. The lift opened onto a smaller terrace, walled in glass, with a plunge pool and low loungers. No one else was there. The city sprawled below, endless lights. No cousin appeared. Khalid closed the glass door behind them. The party noise vanished. Elena, he said, voice low. Your joke earlier. It was memorable. She forced a laugh. I was being stupid. Too much champagne. I'm sorry if it offended. He raised a hand. Offended? No. It amused me. But amusement has limits. He stepped closer. Not threatening, yet. Just close enough that she smelled his cologne, oud and saffron. You know what I value most, he continued. Respect. Not fear. Respect. You work in my world. You understand power is quiet until it isn't. Her pulse quickened. Khalid, I didn't mean. You compared me, unfavorably, to your boyfriend. He said it plainly, no anger, just fact. A man who trains people to lift weights. A man who lives in a rented apartment with a cat. She swallowed. It was a joke. A bad one. Jokes reveal truth, he replied. And truth has consequences. He took out his phone, tapped once. The terrace lights dimmed. From somewhere below, the bass still thumped faintly. I could have security escort you out, he said. But that would be boring. Instead, I have a better idea. A private after-party. Just a few people. You, me, some friends. We'll see how funny you really are. She backed toward the lift. The button didn't light up. The lift is locked, he said. For privacy. Panic rose. Let me go. In a moment. First, listen. He spoke for several minutes, calm, measured. He explained that he had already messaged her firm. A polite note, Ms. Voss had become unwell at the event. She would need a few days off. Her phone, he added, was now in his pocket. He had taken it while she was in the restroom. You'll stay here tonight, he said. In the guest suite downstairs. Tomorrow, perhaps longer. Until you understand respect. She lunged for the door. He didn't stop her. It was locked. 2 men appeared from a side entrance, same dark suits. They didn't speak. One took her arm, firm but not bruising. They guided, not dragged, her back into the lift. The party continued on the main floor. No one noticed her absence. No one would. The guest suite was luxurious. King bed, marble bath, floor-to-ceiling windows with automated blinds. The door locked from the outside. No phone, no Wi-Fi, no television. A small fridge held water, fruit, yogurt. A note on the pillow, rest. We will talk tomorrow. Elena sat on the bed, breathing hard. She checked every drawer, every vent. Nothing useful. She banged on the door. No answer. Hours passed. Dawn came, pink over the desert. The blinds rose automatically. She saw the city wake up, traffic, boats, planes. At 9 a.m., the door opened. Khalid entered alone, carrying a tray, coffee, dates, fresh bread. Good morning, he said. Sleep well. She stood. Let me leave. Not yet. He set the tray down. We have guests arriving tonight. A smaller gathering. You'll attend. You'll smile. You'll apologize. Properly. And then, perhaps, you'll go home. She stared at him. This is kidnapping. This is correction, he corrected. In my home, under my rules. He left. The door locked. The day dragged. She paced. She cried. She planned escape routes that didn't exist. She thought of Marcus, of her mother in Manchester, of the life she had built. Evening arrived. The door opened again. A woman, Filipino, mid-30s, in a simple black dress, entered with a garment bag. Mr. Al-Najjar asks you to wear this, she said softly. For the party. Inside, a deep red gown, floor-length, elegant but revealing at the shoulders. Underwear, heels, jewelry. Elena dressed. She had no choice. At 8 p.m., the men escorted her to a different floor, 48th, private dining room. A long table, 12 chairs. 8 guests already seated, 3 men in thobes, 2 European couples, 1 older woman with sharp eyes. All strangers. Khalid stood at the head. Our guest of honor, he announced. They clapped politely. Dinner began. Lebanese meze, grilled lamb, vintage Bordeaux. Conversation flowed in English and Arabic. Elena sat beside Khalid. She was expected to speak when spoken to. She did, short answers, forced smiles. After the main course, Khalid tapped his glass. A toast, he said. To honesty. Eyes turned to her. He continued. Elena made a remark last night. About size. About comparison. Tonight she will clarify. Silence. Elena felt every gaze. Her throat closed. Khalid leaned close. Speak. She whispered. I'm sorry. Louder. I'm sorry, she said, voice cracking. It was a stupid joke. I shouldn't have said it. The table murmured approval. Khalid smiled. Good. Now, tell them why it was wrong. She hesitated. He waited. Because it disrespected you, she said. In your home. Among your friends. More. Because power isn't measured that way, she continued, repeating what he had told her earlier. Respect is. He nodded. Excellent. The party continued. Dessert. Coffee. Laughter. At midnight, the guests left. Khalid walked her back to the suite. You did well, he said. Tomorrow, we repeat. Each night, until the lesson is learned. How many nights? She asked. Until I decide. He left. The pattern repeated for 4 nights. Each evening, new gown, new guests, same table. Each time, she recited variations of the apology. Each time, the humiliation deepened, not from violence, but from the performance. From smiling while her dignity eroded. On the 5th night, something changed. The guests included a man she recognized, an executive from her own firm, British, mid-50s. He looked surprised to see her. Elena, he said, what are you doing here? Khalid answered for her. She's assisting me with a project. Personal favor. The executive frowned but said nothing. After dinner, when the others left, Khalid kept the executive behind. Elena, Khalid said, tell Mr. Hargrove why you've been absent. She froze. Khalid waited. She spoke. I made an inappropriate comment. Mr. Al-Najjar is teaching me respect. Hargrove's face paled. He looked at Khalid, then at her. Khalid smiled. She's learning quickly. Hargrove left without another word. That night, alone in the suite, Elena broke. She understood now. This wasn't about the joke anymore. It was about control. About showing her, and anyone watching, that no remark, no matter how small, escaped consequence. On the 6th night, she decided. During dinner, she waited until Khalid stepped away to take a call. She leaned toward the woman beside her, an Italian art dealer named Sophia. Please, Elena whispered. Help me. I'm not here willingly. Sophia's eyes widened. What? He's keeping me here. Against my will. Sophia glanced at the door. Khalid was returning. I can't, Sophia began. Please. Just tell someone. Anyone. Sophia nodded once, barely. The dinner ended. Khalid escorted Elena back. You spoke to Sophia, he said in the corridor. I have cameras. Her stomach dropped. She told me everything, he continued. Loyalty is rare. He opened the suite door. Tomorrow, we adjust the lesson. She didn't sleep. At 3 a.m., the door opened quietly. Not Khalid. Sophia. She slipped inside, carrying Elena's phone and purse. Go, Sophia whispered. Now. The service lift, 47th floor, staff corridor. I disabled the camera for 10 minutes. Elena stared. Why? Because I have a daughter, Sophia said. And I would kill anyone who did this to her. Elena ran. She took the service stairs, 47 floors down. Her heels clicked too loudly. She kicked them off, ran barefoot. Past laundry rooms, past sleeping staff. Into the basement parking. A taxi waited. Sophia's driver. Airport, Elena gasped. The driver nodded. No questions. At Dubai International, she bought a ticket with the emergency card she kept in her purse. London. First flight out. She boarded shaking. Marcus met her at Heathrow. She collapsed into him. She never returned to Dubai. The firm fired her quietly, breach of client relations. Hargrove never spoke of that night. Khalid never contacted her. But sometimes, late at night, she still hears the clink of glasses on the 48th floor. Still feels the weight of eyes waiting for her next line. And she wonders, how many others sat at that table, smiling, reciting lines they didn't believe? How many apologies are still being rehearsed, one quiet night at a time? In Dubai, the towers keep rising. The parties keep happening. And every joke, no matter how small, lands somewhere.